Hey, what is up guys? We're back. I've got a watt box here today. We're going to be installing this in the Mustang. Now this actually has everything that we need to get this going. It's got the box itself as well as the main harness piece. It does come with the adapter so that we can properly tune it with our laptop, and it comes with all the, I guess, the provisions you'd need to make this thing clean. Now I did grab an extra couple that I had sitting around, as well as some connectors and stuff that we are going to use to kind of just make this install a lot cleaner. So stay tuned and we'll get this Mustang turned around. Alright, so of course when working on wiring you need a couple tools. This one here is just like a flush cut type of thing. And then of course we got our splicers here. These go all the way down to 18 and 20 gauge, so these are pretty awesome. Right, so we got the car here, and there's a little dust shield, or I guess a splash guard on the bottom side of this that we're gonna have to take off. If your car is lower, this might be a little bit of a challenge. Otherwise, jack that thing up, take the wheel off, and get way up under there. All right, now I'm not gonna take mine out. I'm gonna do the best I can to get to this grommet over here and cut the nipple off of that, and then run these wires to there. And that's basically all we need to do under here. We're gonna route it up from, I think, one of these holes under the battery tray. So to get to the hole under this, we're gonna need to take the battery out, but we need to disconnect the battery anyway because we're gonna be working with electronics and we don't wanna make any kind of accidents. Once the battery is out of the vehicle, we're going to take this bottom panel off, and now is a more than perfect time to go ahead and clean some of this stuff up. So now that the battery tray is out of the way, we can kind of see our long tube headers in the back of the engine here. Now we are looking for this one hole here, this guy right here, and I'm going to flash my flashlight down in it, and we're going to see we can see it at the bottom. And sure enough we can, and that is going to be the hole that we use for our grommet. So I did go ahead and purchase an assortment of grommets. Now I'm not entirely sure which size I'm gonna need. I'm gonna take the end of the harness here and just go with the largest one first and see what the fitment is. This one's pretty loose there. This one is a little bit more tight, and we can put some of heat shielding around this just to tighten it up once it's in, but I think that's going to do us good. Let's go ahead and run over to the car and see what the fitment is on both of these in that little hole. I did get ahead of myself a little bit. We're going to be using the Sprayway glass cleaner as well as a shop cloth just to clean up the area here. Let's get to it. Unfortunately, a lot of this stuff will not come out, but that's what it's supposed to look like, and look how nice that is. All right, let's go ahead and throw a grommet on this guy and see what the fitment is. So we just put the grommet in, and it honestly fits really snug. You just press it in, and that is that. It's going to protect the wires from the edges of the harsh metal and getting any kind of damage like that with rubbing. Now we're going to step over back to our watt box here, set this guy aside, set that guy aside, and then we're going to take our main harness. Now we're going to go ahead and route this. It's pretty fairly simple. You're going to want to try and route this up under the dash. That seems to be a very common, popular place to put it. Otherwise, you can extend this and really just put it wherever you like. So we did manage to snake our wires through the grommet here, and I just took a little zip tie, tied them like this. Now I'm going to slip this off, and then we're going to stuff them into the grommet just above there. All right, we're looking at the car here. You're gonna take this door sill off as well as the fuse panel here, and you're gonna stuff these wires down into this grommet way over there. You can kind of see the light, but we're gonna stuff the wires in there, and then we're gonna route this on top of the glove box. This car is so cool. If you've never seen my car before, it's originally a V6, had gray interior, was just really gross. I ended up getting a bullet dash piece as well as some glowing door trim, and those are just so awesome. Completely plug and play. You just plug it in like you would a 2010 Plus. And this car actually has the factory leather dash, which there's nothing real particular about it. It's just cooler than the glass roof cars. Now that we have the wires pulled out just a little bit, we can kind of start to measure them out. Now, people usually turn a little purple here, but we're going to take all this apart and we're going to find the wires that we need to splice into to make this completely as OEM as possible, and really just make servicing everything in the future way easier. Now, it does depend which vehicle you have. If you have a 05, 06, you're gonna wire this a little bit differently. If you have an 07 to, I think, 10, you're gonna wire it a little bit differently as well. My car is an example of a 2007, so we're gonna be going off of that. All right, so after doing a little bit of research, it looks like the only differences between the 05 and 06 to the 7, 8, or 9 is the fuse box wire that we tap. I think this is for ignition to the coils. I think it just swaps places in the fuse box, so that's nothing crazy here. So this should be pretty close to everything from 05 to, I guess, 9, maybe 10. We're gonna take all of these connectors off the PCM. They just pull right out, just like that. 1, reach down, 2, and 3 on the bottom. Now that these are all disconnected, of course, you want to have the battery completely out of the car, or at least disconnected, just so that you don't short anything out or I don't know, just break your stuff. So if you guys remember at the beginning of the video, I showed you some of these. Now we're going to use these to basically just make some quick connections, just in case we need to take this out in the future or swap it around, blah blah blah. This is just going to be good stuff. And of course, we have the shrink wrap as well. This is going to keep it waterproof, hopefully, for the most part. And then of course, I've got my own different assortment of sizes. So I have finished wiring up some of the wires here. I've got yellow, green, and blue. This is what I did, and of course we're going to essentially do that on the harness side, but with female. And these two guys go under the fuse box, so we're going to leave these guys last. The added benefit of this is, you know, if you ever need to diagnose something, you can quickly unplug it, then reconnect everything, and then diagnose your car. So if there's a misfire, which unfortunately seems to be common with these, you can see if the watt box is the problem or if, well, the car is the problem. So, yep, this is what I did. Definitely looks pretty clean. Hopefully that's going to stay weatherproof. And I'm going to hook it up, blah, 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 do our whole thing here, and then we can sheath it later. I'll just unplug everything and wrap a sheath under it, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So let me get the harness side, and we'll go from there. Sweet. So we just finished these up. Now, this is a visual representation of what I was kind of talking about, if I can get it to focus. These are fully weatherproof now, I hope, and they are also color-coded to which the wires I'm going to use. Of course, you can mix it up if that's something you're interested in, but this is what I'm going to do, and this makes most sense to me. So, of course, our male ends look just the same. Our female ends are now look like this. And now we're going to take these ends and one of these butt connectors and basically just cut the line and then feed both of them in here and then feed this one in as an extra. And then that should be fully tapped in and ready to go. And then we'll just put a heat shrink over that, and that should be completely watertight, hopefully weatherproof. From there, it should be good to go. Right, so as per usual, it is nighttime. We just got done with this harness here, and I kind of wanted to show you what's going on. I'm going to turn my flashlight off here, but check this out. So basically what I did is you did a normal slice like this, but on the end I just added one of these guys so that I can hook that guy in there. Right, so I've been working on this for a good bit now, but we are finally finished with the PCM wires. Obviously we've got 2 here, and then I've got a yellow one that I think I need to extend, but it is let's see, doing the same thing down there, if you can focus. Yeah, doing the same thing down there. It's just connected, and this is kind of like my little plug and play idea I had going on, so hopefully this works out. We are on to the next step. I just got the fuse box out, and yeah, I wasn't too surprised. This seems to be a common, I guess, play feature. I didn't have any bad symptoms though. I mean, it works, it runs fine, so I'm not really hurting for it. Anyway, you're gonna pull this, I guess it's like a fuse block out, and you're looking for number 40, which would be, I believe, this guy here. We're gonna take this guy apart, and then we will go from there. Now that the fuse block is open, ta-da, we're gonna flip this guy over and look for our double red. Now, should be somewhere in this area up here, because that's where 40 is. And if we take a quick look, there's a double red. It's the only one that has a double red. We're gonna grab that guy, cut him out, and get to it. This thing is perfectly set up. As you can see, I've got my 2 ignition coil wires, so if I ever need to, I can just dink. But we're gonna take a male and a female to the watt box from somewhere around here, the orange wires, and yeah, that'll be as plug and play as it gets. The only thing left to do is wire the orange and red and then try this thing out. And we're at the final step. I went ahead and wired in the ground, and we have our watt box here. I've got the wires tucked in here. I'm gonna plug it in and we're gonna see if this thing works. So it is the next day, and man, I forgot to program this. I went to go try it out, and it's still programmed to an SRT, I think a Dodge Neon. So we're gonna take this inside, program this to our vehicle, and then we should be good to go. All right, so we have successfully tuned this up. Had to get a little bit of help because was kind of smooth braining it. I wasn't exactly sure what I needed to do. Download the drivers, of course, switch this to Ford, but there are other options. Like if I go here to this drop down, SRT4 is what it starts at, Vipers, you know, just basically, I guess these are like templates, V10, stuff like that. Ours is a Ford, and then we've got the RPM set here at 3,500, the milliseconds for the no lift shift. Life is good. We've got a rev limiter at 6,450. I think the stock rev limiter for the 3 valves is 6,400 or 6,500, so I didn't really remember, so I'm gonna stick it there. And then of course you click right. And just like that, programming was successful. We click OK, and let's go see how this sounds. And just like that, we fully installed it. It sounds crazy. Now, again, there's added benefits. You get a hard limiter, you get no lift shift, as well as launch control. There are a couple more added benefits that do with nitrous, but I'm not running any nitrous at this moment. And I'm not sure I ever will, but the parameters are in there. Now, for 250 bucks, is this worth it? I really want to say yes. To be honest with you, I think it's worth it. It's extremely simple to install. It does take a little bit of time, and you know, it's daytime now and it was nighttime just a minute ago, so it can take some time depending on how you go about installing this. But if you're just using T-taps, it literally wouldn't take you more than maybe 30 minutes to get this all together. The hardest part was sifting through the harness to find the wires, but once you found the wires, you could just T-tap it and be on your way. Now this thing is really cool. It sounds really cool, and I do like the hard limiter on it. It sounds way cooler than the soft one where it goes rum mum 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 mum. This one's da 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 da. I don't know, it's just really cool. So there's only one thing left for me to do, and that is to wrap up the whole harness. I kind of have wires just sitting everywhere, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some of these guys over the quick connects so I can just splice them off in the future, cut them off, and then I'm going to wrap the whole harness and make it look pretty, and then do a little bit of a tuck. Other than that, there's really nothing to it. I got some roofing guys doing some roofing outside. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed, let me know. Again, my Instagram is here if you ever wanna reach out to me on other platforms or just see some of my content there. Otherwise, I'm gonna cut it short here, but I will see you guys later.